Morning. Before we start work, I thought I'd go through this gearbox and show you a couple of tips and tricks that I do to make life easier. Now, you probably know that I've got a lift, but it's not a great big tall lift because I'm limited by my ceiling height. So we have a bit of a struggle. I have a transmission lift I got off JP which just crawls along the floor really, but it does help. And by making these adapter plates here, we can bolt the gearbox on, because if you noticed under the gearbox there's three little holes, there's three M8 bolt holes, and that's what that bolts onto, and it's a beautiful balance point for the gearbox and transfer case, so like that makes life a lot easier. And of course I made a flat plate drilled out to go onto my lift, but you could make something similar to go onto a trolley jack. It doesn't really matter. Trolley jacks are a wee bit unstable, but it's better than poking the eye with a blunt stick. So in order to move this around, first of all I'll do this bit. You can see I've got a strap here. Now these thin straps are just thin enough to slide under here, and again if we move this into the position around here, it's a perfect balance point, so then I can put that on my forklift, take it round the other side of the shop, because obviously I'm on 2 levels and I'm not going to lift that on my own. So, but I've also left off the high-low shifter and the gear shift. Why? Because it makes life so much easier putting this box in like this, instead of fighting with a high-low shift against the seat base. Because really, even though there's 2 of us, it is a damn struggle. And of course we've got the cover off anyway, so it just makes that life so much easier, because once that's off you can get to these bolts here. And what I'm going to do first of all is fit the linkage. When I found it, I'll put it down somewhere. Where did I put it? This has been missing the pins, well, not the pins but the bushes. I don't know, you can see it's been shiny here, and maybe you can see a bit of shiny in the inside as well. I'm not sure if you can pick that up. I can see it. It's just around there. That means that's been wobbling about. Also, when I looked at this one here, the spring clip's missing. So I think we'll treat this to a set of new bushes and clips. So we're going to fit that onto here first. Why? Because access is so much easier here, and then just leave that dangling about, as you do. What else? We've made sure all the wires and connectors are on. That's going to be good. But generally speaking, it's not too bad. It's not a bad job to do. Again, looking at these things here, yeah, they weren't the best of ideas. They are flimsy, you know. Also make sure there's 2 bushes in there, not just one, and a clip. This here, it's a very small bolt. I can't remember, is it M4? It shouldn't be over tightened. There should be a washer between here and the eye that's missing on here, so we've got to take the eye off and then set all that up. If I get chance, I'll show you how to do it again, because we've done it. I don't want to do it over and over again, but it's kind of easy. Other thing, whilst I'm here, if you're doing a TDI or anything like that, or 2.5, you'll notice they've got these little staples. Are they needed? Not really. It doesn't really do much, because it fits into this wee hole here on your clutch fork, available in the shop with a bush in it. But what it does is you push it into there like that, and it holds the bearing in place whilst you're fitting the gearbox, because it has been known, but the bearing fall off and you fit the gearbox bolted all off, the bearing's fallen off. So in our case it's not so important. The bearings on the TD5's held on in a different method, but yeah, by putting that flat plate on and lifting it up, this gearbox is perfectly balanced, so there's less likelihood of the bearing falling off. but keep checking. Honestly, if you're on your own and you're on your back and you're going giving it this and stuff like that, that bloody bearing falls off and you don't notice and you bang it all together, well, you've got to do it all over again. That's about that. The diff here, I'm going to reassemble that. It cleaned up very nice. I'm going to oil it, put the bolts back in here that torque those down. But like I say, we're going to get this box in, and then Mike there can do all these nuts and bolts and stuff like that as he's going along. I don't like TD5 ideas for doing the starter. It is the most stupidest idea I've ever seen. Why they couldn't have made the casting on the engine block take the starter, just like the TDIs and stuff like that they have on the adapter plate. But no, they just seem to do it like that. And I think that bolt there is a real bitch to get at. Or is it the bottom one? Could be wrong. Could be wrong. One of them's a bitch to get out. Yeah, no, apart from that. Also, before you fit anything, in this instance here, fill it with oil first. I know you're in a rush to get your job done, but it's so much easier to fill it here and the transfer case at the back prior to fitting. You know, so we do everything we can here. That's that done. All the bolts are tightened down, and also make sure the drain plung's tight. It has been known for them to shake loose. I think that's about it really. So let's get this finished. Let's put these through the blaster and clean them all up, make sure the pivots are all right, and then we can progress. Because today, like I say, while Mike's messing about with that, I'll do this diff, but I also want to get that 300 TDIs in my mind. This TD5 old box stripped down to find out what's wrong with it, and the transfer case, because Mike said there was a lot of metal came out of it, which doesn't sound good, does it? Anyway, that's it. Let's see what the day brings. Oh, let's from yesterday, I did find on the shelf a brand new flange, and it's pretty damn good. It did say you had these fitted, but why would this spline go? I really don't know. I haven't worked that one out yet. But anyway, at least there's no problems with the rear axle. Again, the oil was burnt black, so it wants a good thorough cleaning out whilst it's in the shop and you get access to it. Clean it all out and we'll be good to go. Yeah. Now, well, you're probably asking, how is it that I've got this box perfectly level on my bench? Well, like I've got this one here to take the engines and boxes out together. When I want to take the transfer case out, you can't quite see it, but I've got another plate down here at an angle that matches the plate here. So I can take the transfer case out separately from the gearbox. Where is it? There. But it's ideal if you put it on the bench and you want to work on your transfer case. You just, you can do all your bits and pieces, and that keeps level. And also, when that was flat and in a good position, I could come in with a forklift, lift this in, and then pop it straight in without struggling on the splines and anything like that. Excellent. Right, see you later. I'll keep you posted.